Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of RTS Reloaded. I'm your host, Judge Thunder. On tonight's episode, we'll be discussing some big players in the SC2 world, as well as an in-depth look at the IEM Katowice 2024 tournament data via SC Sensei. And then after that, we'll be looking into Stormgate and the controversy surrounding the Kickstarter and future funding. Also, we'll discuss a new website with lots of in-depth useful information on Stormgate units. After that, we will take a look into ZeroSpace and Immortal Gates of Pyre on their current factions and races. Alright, so to start us off, we're going right into the StarCraft segment. Earlier this week, when was this posted? 3 days ago. Golden, a former professional gamer from 2010 to 2014 and a streamer from 2016 to 2023, is bidding farewell to the StarCraft 2 community. In his final post here on Reddit, he reflects on his journey from his pro gaming days to his transition to streaming and beyond. Despite not being able to graduate high school during his pro gaming career, he attended university from 2017 to 2019 and is now close to completing his master's thesis. Golden credits his success to the lessons he learned from StarCraft 2 community and the support of his fans. Yeah, so since retiring as a pro gamer, Golden has pursued a career in performing arts, successfully launching theatrical productions and participating in major events like the Gangwon Winter Youth Olympic Games in 2024. He had planned to end his streams in July to focus more on his career, but decided to conclude them early due to Twitch ending its service in Korea. Golden expresses gratitude to the StarCraft 2 community for 14 years of memories and acknowledges the challenges of transitioning from a pro gamer to a streamer. He apologizes for any mistakes or actions that may have set others and expresses admiration for everyone he has played and interacted with. Golden pledges to continue living in a way that honors the StarCraft 2 community and expresses pride in his pro gaming legacy. In his farewell message, Golden thanks his fans for accompanying him on his journey and signs off with best wishes for the future. The post is on Reddit, and I will have the link for you. I did read the first few comments, and one caught my eye that said, goodbye, 4040 man. And I also didn't know what that meant, so here's the clip.
Sorry?
When you practice with sound, who wins, you or him?
40-40, almost.
40-40?
Yes.
And the laugh in the background.
Okay.
It's so good. Golden, you will be missed. Good luck to you in the future in all that you do. Another YouTube video that popped up was an interview with Maru from Crank, from Team Vitality. I'm just going to do a quick overview. Again, I'll have the link to this after. But the general interview with Maru is discussing his runner-up finishes in recent tournaments, how this year in Katowice he felt lucky. Last year he was a little more upset about the second place finish. They then go on to discuss, not needing to do qualifiers for Katowice and for the Esports World Cup because of his rankings in other tournaments. They go into Maru's feelings on GSL and how he feels going into that. And then there is a discussion about nerfing burrowed infestors, and Crank asks if that's a Zerg problem or a Serral problem, because he used so many scans, and then infestors just came from every angle. And I'll also have a link to the full interview. I think it's about 12 minutes, 3 seconds. It's worth a watch. Maru, very excellent player, and a great interview. He also talks about how his shoulder pain affects his gameplay, and how in between some of the matches he was laying on the floor because his shoulder hurt so much. Esports, just like any other sport, it has injuries, it has things you have to deal with. So they're competing at the highest level of their profession. These are the greatest StarCraft 2 players in the world. So it's tough on the body. I mean, me at Plat 2, just sometimes I get so sore. I mean, I'm an old man, but it's not easy out there. So great interview with Maru, definitely worth checking out. Another interview, Raynor put up a video discussing, the title is What Happened at Katowice and My Future Plans. So he goes into how he prepared for Katowice, how he trained at his grandma's house, because there he has the ability to focus and she has good internet and his friends are close by. I think he said he got there early January. And his schedule was wake up in the late morning, play a few games, eat lunch, play until dinner, eat dinner, play until bed. He wasn't really going out a lot, maybe once or twice a week, and then none after that. Not even going to the gym, just focusing on playing, watching videos, doing customs, focusing on his builds. He also goes on to discuss how his group at Katowice was a difficult group. He felt his ZVP was lacking something, and when he was practicing, he was preparing lots of builds. He is disappointed by his performance at Katowice, and he said even in training, he developed some wrist issues. But playing that many hours a day for so many days in a row, I can only imagine. But he's excited to prepare for more tournaments. His plans for the future are he's just going to change his practice schedule. He thought going into the tournament it was too much all or nothing. He thought he might have practiced actually too much, and now he wants to get more consistent. So he's still practicing 2 or 3 hours a day to not lose any of that training that he had going into Katowice. For upcoming tournaments, he is learning from his teammate Cyril. He said he loves Korea and most likely playing in GSL. As far as streaming and videos, he'll put out more videos and streaming in the future, but he's a player and competitor first. And when he does put out a video, he wants to make sure that it's solid quality. He doesn't want to just crank out a ton of low quality videos. So as far as videos are coming, they're just not his priority. It was a great watch. Again, this one's 12 minutes. It's pretty good length of a video, I guess. But he really lays it all out there. How he's feeling, how he trained, and everything. Really, really great video by Raynor. Highly suggest you go watch that as well. The SC2 Sensei data is up for Katowice, and this is like a really interesting site, and only if you're like a huge data nerd. But you can pick, we can do Cure versus Hero Marine, and you can see Cure's current resources at any time period, and then up here you can just switch it to Hero Marine. Big Gabe was doing. You can see their APM throughout the whole match, and what's great about this is you're scrolling through in one section, it's lining up with everything else, so you can see, his command center was idle at 6:30, and he had 40 workers, and his APM was the lowest there. Workers killed, boom, jumped up right about from 1 to 6. So like, what happened in this 30-second interaction? Was that a run by? And then obviously you can go back and watch these replays. Colors, you can just do Hero Marine and then pick and choose what you want on the big chart. And you can even see their build orders. So it's a really great site. A lot of information, kind of really fun to look through. We're going to go over to Stormgate. You missed out on or if you enjoyed it in the open beta and you missed out on the Kickstarter, or you didn't get a chance to try it and now you want to, they did open for late pledges. They are available now. I'll have the link to this article as well as the Indiegogo. This is the Indiegogo site, so you can choose the $40, $60, or $200 collector's edition. This site will explain, everything it comes with. And please note that the studio is only offering pledge tiers that include closed beta access, as those were by far the most popular options with backers. The Kickstarter exclusive high-end pledge tiers, Immortal Founder, Godly Founder, and Hall of Legends are unavailable as part of Indiegogo's late pledge offering. Yeah, so you only get the 3. But again, if you want to play this open beta, it's till March 11th, 2024. And then I think there'll be another one this summer that will include the 3rd faction, which is really exciting because we don't know what it is. But we all know what it is, right? Yeah. And anyone who pledged at the $25 level or below on Kickstarter who wants to upgrade their pledge to receive beta access should submit a late pledge on Indiegogo. Frost Giant will provide a refund to your original Kickstarter pledge amount upon receipt of your Kickstarter backer number and a screenshot of your Indiegogo pledge confirmation. You just send that at support@frostgiant.com. Now there's some controversy here, where Frost Giant invites supporters to reserve a piece of the studio. So there are concerns from the Stormgate subreddit about perceived funding strategy changes by Frost Giant Studios. Some fans are upset over Frost Giant seeking additional crowd-funded investment, viewing it as a bait-and-switch tactic. Frost Giant responded that the studio has issued a clarification to mitigate misunderstandings and assure the community about the funding and development plans. Core of the controversy lies in Frost Giant's decision to seek more funding after a $37 million investment in a Kickstarter campaign aimed at expanding beta testing and server capacity. There was a misinterpretation of fully funded. Fans were led to believe fully funded meant through to the full game release, not just early access, causing confusion and mistrust. Frost Giant's future funding model, post-early access, Stormgate plans to adopt a free-to-play model supporting development through in-game content sales, such as campaigns and skins. Frost Giant promised clarification. So Frost Giant plans to update the community on what early access entails, including a roadmap to version 1.0 and details on future development support, which we are all looking forward to. Also, for Frost Giant to let us know that we were in fact correct, and the 3rd faction is anime cat girls. Frost Giant also explained that the new opportunities for fans to invest in Frost Giant aimed at funding a marketing campaign for Stormgate, because up until now, it's really only been word of mouth. And all of this is, of course, voluntary if you want to support the studio, but not necessary at all. If you don't want to play right now or you want to wait for the full game, it will come out free to play, so you won't have to worry about anything. So a link to these articles, as well as the Indiegogo link, will be available in the description below for the episode. So I was in the Stormgate official Discord. It's all the cool kids are. And a user by the name Ghost, spelled like this, GH symbol ST, created this website. I'm going to go into the Stormgate section, but I'm also going to go into the StarCraft 2 section after this as well. It's completely fan-made, not sponsored by Frost Giant or Blizzard at all. So I reached out, and honestly, I just told them it was really cool of them to do this. First off, so if you go in, there's a unit encyclopedia, and it has all 53 current units in the game as far as buildings, and so it'll tell you like Shrine, Greater Shrine, how long it takes to make. A minute 20 is an insanely long time, I think. That's wild. Considering that a command post is a minute 30, but you could speed it up with Bob's and with Bob Overcharge. Well, these are really cool stats. Yeah, I'd love to see how fast an additional Bob would help make that. But you can sort by all, Vanguard, Infernal. You can look down at what's the Hellborn range? 14. It's got 8 supply recently. And the latest patch was updated. And if you want to know about the patch notes, you can go watch last week's episode. But I know they're going to put out another patch soon, so I'll definitely go over those in a future episode when those do come out. And, the price got increased, but they do more damage, so it's nice. More damage, slightly more health. I think they went from 200 to 260. Hellborn. Yeah, 260. So 200 to 260. I like how my mouse is like, oh, good. Yeah, the mouse is fixed. So just really, really cool site. And I reached out and just, said, this site's really cool. You might have been put on my podcast, and just asked for like a quick, like, why'd you do it? And they said, made it because part of the fun of RTS games is figuring out the best build order and improving upon build order ideas. Something I found that I keep doing in Stormgate is looking up how much a unit costs to produce. How many of X unit do I need to beat Y unit and stuff like that. Especially since the game is new and it's not easy to remember which units counter which yet. Oof. I can wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm planning to add more to the tool so you can use it for designing builds, improving builds. Example, while entering in or modifying a build, you would also have the stats and calculations right there so you can see if the change you're making to a build is theoretically possible. Whoa. That's actually super awesome. And I would love to see that. Also, in the StarCraft 2 side, you can actually upload a StarCraft 2 replay, and it'll show you. So this is, my build as StarCraft Zerg. I lost this match, but this is an example. It's really cool. It'll show you the time I started it, the supply, the time it finished. There's even actually really cool little hotkeys, so I can highlight specific things like when did I make my hatcheries? 115, 230, and then I finally made a third. Must have been a 2 base all in, 13 minutes. So just that's really cool. And if we get that functionality in Stormgate, I think that would be really, really cool if they allow us to analyze it like that. But as of now, I still think this is really cool and a really great resource, especially if you're just getting started. And honestly, it's probably going to help me remember some names, because Skybanes are not what they're called. They're called Shadow Flyers, and they're not New Mutas. They're Spriggans. So definitely going to help. Definitely a really cool site. And these are the kinds of things I love from the RTS community. Everyone's just so passionate about it, and all this is done for free. And we're not like, oh, give all the ads and everything. Like, it's just really, really great, just passion for the genre, and I love that. And that's one of my favorite things about this genre is the community. And again, I think I mentioned it last week, but even like the studios are like retweeting each other and supporting each other. And that's just so great, because I feel like other industries are just so cutthroat and they would never, retweet their competitor, something great happening, or congratulate them. So, again, just something I really, really love about this community. This site also has builds. If you wanted to look up some builds, some TVT BC Rush, could probably use this because TVT is so flippin' boring sometimes. Boom. It even shows you scanner sweeps. That's so nice. Command center lift. Yeah, this is a really, really cool site. I'm definitely going to be utilizing this very heavily in the future. I'm excited to see what else Ghost comes up with. Tip of the gavel to you. And thank you. And, if you know any other community-sponsored tools or anything out there, let me know. I'd love to highlight them, in the specific game section that they're in, or if anybody just sees anything cool out there in the RTS world, we'd just love to highlight it. So thank you, Ghost. Keep on keeping on. Really appreciate it. All right, we are going to switch gears to ZeroSpace, and I did watch it during the December alpha. I thought the gameplay looked really cool. There was one tank-like thing that absolutely shot everywhere and did everything, and I thought it was so cool. I forget who I was watching. I think it was like Nish. Made this tank. I don't know. It was the coolest thing ever. So I bought in late to the Kickstarter, whatever they had. So they have a new or an Alpha 2, I think they're calling it, coming out in March. So I definitely look forward to being in that and doing that. And I'll be able to make a sweet, sweet tank of my own. But this is something I did not notice, or I did not pay attention to, I guess. So when I do my research for these things every week, I'm learning so much. And I'm learning it for you guys, but also for myself. This is cool. So I think this is an Artosis video. I'm not going to play the volume, but so on the left side, we have our 3 factions that are available. There is another faction, Zol, that wasn't available to play during the December alpha. It was just the Protectorate, Grell, and Legion. But then, so I thought, that was just kind of what you were playing. But then you also have a Warcraft 3 style hero, and the heroes are totally separate from your faction. So you can mix and match, as far as I understand, you can mix and match between the factions and the mercenaries. And I just think that's going to create so much diversity, and especially, you throw in another faction. So you can see he's going over his, you got your Grell, you got your Protectorate, you got your Legion, wiggling his mouse around a lot. But then you also have your mercenaries. So is a mirror match really a thing? What are the odds someone picks your same faction and your same mercenary? So I think that's really exciting, because I think mirror matches are boring. And after switching over to Terran a couple months ago, and then getting into some 20+ minute TVTs that I end up winning and then need to take a nap or losing, and have my finger hovering over the uninstall button because I didn't feel that was the best use of my time, I'm really, really excited about that. So I just think the diversity there has so much potential, and I'm really excited about it. And also, I think in future episodes, I'm going to go over how the harvesting and stuff works. Because again, I think there's less focus on workers and building workers, and more focusing on battles and army comps and micro and controlling the field, which is great about a lot of the RTSs I'm seeing. There's a lot of things to do on the map that reward not turtling, or at least having some sort of army that's very movable, can quickly move around the map to either take positions or take camps. Stormgate's got their little health camps and resource camps. ZeroSpace has different control points that give XP, and Immortal Gates of Pyre has little camps as well that will give you Pyre that feed additional moves. So again, not rewarding turtling up, sitting at home. I'm StarCraft 2, which I guess you can't take so many bases, so the other team has to out macro you, but they don't have any additional benefit. They're not getting health camps and resource camps and extra XP for being out on the map and sitting at a Zelnaga tower. I think these will help increase active play and deter, although I do detest turtling. Very excited for that, and definitely wanted to touch on that point. One of the first playable races or factions in ZeroSpace is the Protectorate. The Protectorate is a military branch in the Milky Way that serves as the guardian of human worlds. Soldiers undergo demanding training programs to acquire the expertise in a broad spectrum of weaponry and strategic approaches. Headquarters is of significant value, as it's where harvesters, the machines that gather the flux, are built, and flux is an important resource for upgrading and building additional forces. That is the gas, or the thermite, of ZeroSpace. To build an expansive army, engineers can be used to expand and build supply platforms for supplementary supply. Operating towers extract hexite and expansion areas around the map. For constructing troops, barracks, factories, and advanced factories are where troops are constructed, allowing for a wide variety of units with various abilities and skills. Some units may need to be unlocked by constructing tech trees. Kind of very standard RTS things, troops being unlocked, barracks, factory, advanced factory, boom. In battle strategies, make use of the Protector's top bar abilities such as beaming units to the nearest operating tower, bringing in reinforcements, calling down a mech that explodes on destruction, and sending an airstrike to foes. Talent points are also important for upgrading the army and improving top bar capabilities. Now, top bar capabilities are not existent in StarCraft 2, but are in Stormgate and ZeroSpace, and then there are special abilities in Immortal Gates of Pyre. So these are things to look forward to that are exciting. Next up is Grells. Grell features insect-like units. They aid in the growth of quarry plants and suppress competing alien flora. They draw nourishment from the quarry plants. They exhibit aggression towards other species. And they have a unique feature called biomass, which decreases enemy units' visions when they're on it. Oh, that's kind of cool. The Grell top bar offers 4 abilities: underground transport, some sort of infusion, flowers, and tree of life. There are upgrades for biomass. The upgrades for biomass provide extra benefits, which are very cool. Starting structures are the root colony, which automatically builds extractors on hexite crystals for income. You have the prime root node that serves multiple purposes, including being the victory condition, providing income, and spawning the hero. Their buildings are colonies, which provide seedlings and income. Nourishing pods provide supply and heal nearby units. Cultivators exceptionally spread biomass and can be upgraded to have an attack, which is very cool. Incubators produce grow units, or produce/grow units such as stingers, harbingers, weavers, and advanced units, depending on the type of incubator it is. You can augment pools for basic, advanced, and special levels for researching upgrades for combat units. So here you're looking at the standard incubator, again, which make these 3 units. This will be available, link to all these videos will be available in the description, so feel free to watch for more detailed explanation. Last but not least is the Legion, which are a fanatic religious faction promoting unity among aliens while opposing synthetics. They feature 3 heroes, customizable tanks, and thralls, basic units reflecting a cult-like ideology. The Legion has 4 different equally important supporting aspects to its force: the commanders, the thralls, the obelisks, and the terror. The commanders are elite forces with unique abilities and roles, and the Legion picks their first commander instead of a hero unit at the beginning of the game. They can be purchased throughout the game, and if they die, they have to be rebought. The 3 commanders are Inquistrist, Kragar, Galvalax, each with unique abilities and roles. The thralls are citizens of the Legion and come in 3 types: harvester thralls, melee thralls, and ranged thralls. They are cheap to produce and do not have abilities or upgrades, but they spawn at maximum power from the beginning, showing the Legion's care for its citizens. That's kind of cool. The Terror Tank is a powerful war machine that is built directly onto the battlefield. It has a main cannon and can be upgraded with different turrets and utility modules. When fully upgraded, it becomes a formidable force on the battlefield. Okay, that must be the tank that I saw that Niche made, because it was so freaking cool. When I get in the beta in March, or the Alpha 2, whatever they're calling it, that is the first thing I'm doing. I'm figuring out how to build that down there. That is the first thing I'm doing. And I'm building, and I'm learning how to build it, and I'm doing that build for like the first week, and no one can stop me. I don't care if I go negative MMR. I'm going to have fun building those things. And then last but not least are the Legion's monoliths, which are powerful buildings summoned by the top bar that have a variety of effects, such as guarding an area, healing allies, or debuffing enemies. The last faction, the Zol, are ancient AI robots, assuming forms of their creators, employing diverse strategies and merging to create specialized units. Utility-centric, with the ability to disassemble as needed, akin to StarCraft 2's Archons, but expanded into a whole race concept. Now, that was not available during the December alpha, And I do not know if it'll be available. I'm just watching this thing in the March Alpha 2 as well. I do truly love the animations in this game. Just, he knocked back with the tank. Yeah, I think the fights look really great. I think all three races or factions that I saw were very, very cool. I do really like the grill. I do think I'm going to try them out. And I'll try the protectorate out as well and use a bunch of these shooty turret boys. Those tanks are so freaking cool, man. That's a ZeroSpace. They also incorporate, minor factions alongside main factions, encouraging gameplay diversity. Players can switch factions per game, exploring various strategies within chosen factions. And that's kind of something I touched on in the beginning, that there are so many different choices that I don't think you're going to mirror match, especially when everything's fully up and running. So super, super excited to try that out. And again, Alpha 2 starts in March with no specific date. Immortal Gates of Pyre. Last week I kind of just talked about tempo and their streaming, and I didn't really go into like what the game is or anything like that. So I was going to do like just a quick overview, rundown of everything they kind of have. So they started the Kickstarter in 2021. It's currently in alpha. It's had some show matches and tournaments. It's got 3 different factions, each with multiple immortals. The Wrath, also known as the Angelic Empire, is a human imperial state ruled by mighty angels located on planet Shail. The 2 immortals are Orzum and Ajari. The other faction is the Aru, and they have like crazy, insane lore for all of these. Like, again, what planets they're from, what their whole like thing is, and this goes for ZeroSpace as well. I know Stormgate's working on their lore as well, so I think like these are all going to be very lore heavy. I wanted to try to like read directly to the description of the Aru, but I didn't feel like making this like a 2-hour podcast. So Aru kind of just gives me like a tribal feel. One of their immortals is Mala, which seems like, she's like the mother type that gives buffs and kind of healing and protector kind of feel. And there's Zol, which is the hunter. It seems very attack-like and gives you, much more offensive buffs and things like that. Again, I haven't played a ton. I did play for like a week straight, came up with my own Zol build, and then I played someone who's been playing for a long time, and he kicked my butt twice pretty hard. And then someone who's brand new wanted to play, and I beat them. So, but this game is, the progress is slow moving, but I definitely think it's definitely got some potential. I'm excited, even just from a lore perspective. But it does have some unique features. So previously I mentioned that the camps in the middle, so one's being attacked right now, this will give Pyre, which fuels your extra fun abilities. They also, you can make a building without a specific worker, similar to Stormgate. And I don't know exactly how it works in ZeroSpace, but I'll know soon enough, where you just kind of like hit a button, build, and the nearest worker will build it for you. They also have an auto build mode for newer players, which I think will be, very welcoming for new players. Well, there's the little teacups. Those are your scouts. The supply is managed not through supply depots or habitats or things like that, just buildings that produce units. So production buildings is how it's managed. So I think that was, kind of a unique feature as well. The game modes currently available in the alpha are 1v1 and 2v2 death matches, co-op holdout, and co-op golem factory, 1v1 army draft, and they also have tutorials that they refer to as minigames, which are fun. Again, I think I stated it last week, but I'll state it again. If anybody needs someone to 1v1, I will happily do it. Again, I'm not very good. I'd probably like to try out the Q-Wrath craft. Try them out, maybe do a build for them. But feel free to, kick my butt, or maybe you lose. Who knows? I'd be happy to just reach out to me again on Discord or Twitter or Reddit or wherever. Just get a hold of me and we'll schedule something. And that's a wrap for this episode, fellow gamers. We've traversed the vast expanse of the StarCraft 2 universe, bidding farewell to the iconic Golden, and getting real insights from Maru's intense gaming journey. We heard from Raynor, from the grueling preparation schedule to the thrill of competitive showdowns. We've seen it all. Now on to Stormgate, late pledges, new way to pledge, and an informative website made by a fan. Thank you, Ghost. ZeroSpace has blown our minds with its diverse factions and gameplay mechanics. With Alpha 2 looming on the horizon, we're itching to jump back in, or for some of us, jump in for the first time, and explore every nook and cranny of this immersive universe. And let's not forget about Immortal Gates of Pyre. From its Kickstarter origins to its current alpha phase, it's shaping up to be an absolute blast with multiple factions, races, and game modes. The possibilities are endless. That's a wrap for today's episode. Remember, keep your bases built and your strategies bold. This is Judge Thunder with RTS Reloaded, signing off. Game on, Commanders.